Okay, so we are going to continue our work with clouds. Today, we're going to look at half of the experiment that we would be doing if we were in class. I know it's not as fun, but I'm going to try to make it as fun as it can be. So, if you were in class, you would have created this storm spotter's guide to use what we know about clouds to help us predict storms. So, we know different clouds help us know if it's going to rain or not. So cumulus clouds are the kind like this. Stratus clouds are spread out just like this, and they don't produce any storms. But if we see cumulonimbus clouds, on the other hand, that are tall and fluffy, there will be a storm.
Video of some fluffy cumulus clouds. But now, watch this for a little while. Just watch what happens. I'll let you see.
Right, and now we see how they become cumulonimbus. They get really tall.
See that happening?
Oh, here we go.
It got way taller, right? If you see a puffy white cloud, here are some more photos of cumulonimbus clouds.
There we go, some more.
It's going to go bad, spread out. Remember, I mentioned there's another type of storm cloud. You see, just like it starts to fall down.
These are stratonimbus clouds.
Here's another.
Because they're spread out like stratus clouds, but see how dark they are? That tells us that they have too much water in them and they want it to rain. So it's going to rain soon. So let's see.
So now you know 4 kinds of clouds to look for. Cumulus, cumulonimbus, stratus, and stratonimbus. If you see cumulus clouds or stratus clouds in the skies, no worries, there's no storm coming. But if you see cumulonimbus or stratonimbus, those are bad news. You also know that you should watch for changes. Cumulus clouds can turn into cumulonimbus clouds. So if you see a cumulus cloud start growing tall and towering, watch out. Or if you see stratus clouds start to get thick and dark, turning into stratonimbus clouds, that's also bad news. So it seems like it should be pretty easy to know whether a storm is coming now, right? Just use your book and look for the clouds. But say that one day you go outside and you see one of these up in the sky. Oh, you recognize that shape. It's a tall cumulonimbus storm cloud. A bad thunderstorm is on its way. So you go inside and you wait for the storm to pass. But you wait and wait, and nothing happens. No storm comes. What's going on? When you go outside to check, that's when you realize the cloud moved in a different direction. See, you assumed that it was coming toward you, but in fact, it was off in the distance and blowing towards some other town.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, right? You see a storm cloud in the sky, and you're like, oh no, but it ends up moving farther away from you.
So knowing which clouds create storms, that's only the first clue to being able to predict storms. You also have to know which direction the wind is blowing.
Why do you think we need to know which direction the wind is blowing to predict a storm? Let's see.
Now, luckily, there's a pretty easy way to figure this out. A long time ago, people discovered an interesting pattern with the wind based on where you live. Winds always tend to blow a certain direction, like this.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? So, for example, people living here in southern Mexico, they realize that almost any time there's wind for them, it blows from east to west. Sometimes there's exceptions, like one day it might blow from north to south, but almost always, if you're in southern Mexico, it blows from east to west. Now, have you ever noticed which direction the wind blows where you live?
I don't know if I've ever paid attention to that.
Look at this world map where people have recorded the wind directions. Figure out where you live and which way the wind usually blows there. That will tell you which way to look to see what clouds are coming your way.
All right. So I know we left school before we could finish our cultures unit in class together. And we also worked on some geography. But that's okay. So let's think. Where do we live? So we know that we live in North America. And I know that this guy here is North America. Okay? Now, the exact spot, the United States is about here. This is not perfect. I'm doing my best. And we are somewhere right here. Okay? So, we know that this is our area. Okay? So, area in blue. So, we want to pay attention to these arrows. Which way are these arrows going? Good. They're going from west to east. So we should look to the west to see which clouds are going to come over our way. Okay, so we would fill in that we live in Woodbury. The direction normally goes from west to east. Good. And so that's the direction we can look in if we want to know which weather is coming our way.
Your book is done. Now you're going to do an activity that lets you practice using your book to figure out if a storm is coming your way. To do this, you'll need your completed Storm Spotters Guide, a copy of the 3 Will It Storm handouts, and a partner. I'll pause while you find a partner and your teacher gives each person their handouts. Just press play to continue.
All right, so again, we are not going to be doing it with a partner.
Okay, here's how this activity will work. I'm going to show you a few different pictures of the sky. You and your partner will look at each picture and use your Storm Spotters Guide to decode the clouds. For each picture, you'll have to decide what clouds are in the sky and whether or not they're storm clouds. You'll also want to check the direction the wind is blowing to figure out if the clouds are coming your way. To do this, look at the arrow that will be in each picture. Is the wind blowing towards you, like this arrow shows? Or is the wind blowing directly away from you? Or is it even blowing some other direction? Unless the wind is blowing the storm clouds toward you, you might not have to worry about them at all.
So this is the direction that we're going to be looking for.
Now, after each photo, you'll discuss what you think with your class before moving on to the next photo. Okay, let's get started.
So we are going to continue with this tomorrow. Tomorrow, you will figure out for yourself if a storm is coming. Okay? If you have not already, make sure you fill in your weather log for today. And keep doing good work, scientists. We will continue tomorrow.